So how long have you lived around here? Also, don't eat any hamster bacon. That's probably illegal. It's raining. We're sailing in the rain. You know, like you do. We're finally sailing again. Not that we haven't been sailing. We're just sailing today. Darla's at the helm.
Our bimini doesn't protect us from rain either.
Yeah. If you sit at the helm, the bimini doesn't cover you, so you have direct sunlight, and if it's raining, you get wet. We just kind of learned to deal with it. We got the stuff to extend it, but we just haven't gotten around to doing that. I don't know that we ever will, but we do have all the stuff to do it with. It's just been so hot.
We should do it.
Probably.
We should do a lot of stuff. We're way behind in project maintenance.
It just got so hot here that we just kind of stopped. We'd come out and it was miserable at the dock, so we would just leave the dock and go sail around just to stay cool. So we've been doing a whole lot of sailing, and that's it. So I guess we also took a detour to San Francisco to see Metallica for a while. That was fun. I guess we could show you some of that stuff. It looks like this. So that was pretty cool. Other than that, things have been pretty uneventful. We just kind of got into a pattern of just sailing around. So that's what we've been up to. And we did have a couple of deals last weekend where, one, the boat filled up with water. Well, I shouldn't say that. It appeared that the boat was filling up with water. We had just left a pump out station, and apparently there was extra water in our bilge, and so it was in the drive shaft and throwing water everywhere. But from the casual observer, it looks like, oh hell, this thing's going down. We're filling up with water and we're sinking. But we were able to get back to the dock and determine that there was no ingress of water. There was no problem. It was kind of weird. So we had a shindig that day, so we ended up not going sailing at all. So we did wonder why there was all that water in the bilge that didn't get pumped out. So to be extra secure and safe, we got a new bilge pump, which we need to install. And then we also had that thing where the impeller blew out. We were ending our sailing day, and we were heading back into the marina, cruising around 2,500 RPMs, and I started hearing a sucking sound, and I thought, that's not good. So I looked over the stern of the boat, and there's no water coming out. So then I looked down, and the thermostat says way past 240. So that's not good. So I turn the engine off, and then I hear hissing and steam coming out of the engine compartment. And so we were right at the hole to go into the marina, and we had just had a conversation about, what do you do if your engine stops right here? What do you do if your engine stops right here? And it literally happened to us, what, an hour after we talked about it. So fortunately, we had the sails all ready to go. That was the conversation, is we can't be putting up all the equipment because if the engine breaks right when you're pulling into the marina, now you got a problem. Well, now we got a problem. So we pulled the Genoa out. We got 8 knots of wind, which is pretty good. It looks a little bit stormy, so we can go take a look at the engine down here and see what we got. Right now I have some of the screws loosened so that we can let it kind of purge out its water, but I also see coolant all over the place. So obviously it's steamed on out of there. So we're going to take this panel off and hope maybe that the impeller is blown to pieces and we can just stick another one on there and be on our way. As you can see clearly, that is the culprit. All the little splines are off of that thing, and I can see pieces here and there. So plan, take this one out, make sure that we can maybe count up all the splines, and fortunately we do have a spare. there's a bunch of splines off of the old impeller stuck in there, and so I'm trying to figure out a way to get them out. And my solution now is to hook this old pump hose that we have to the back of the connector and just blow it as hard as I can and see if it blows those pieces out. I think I've seen some come out. Yeah, I don't think there's pieces down there anymore, so let me try the other one. I think it did work. There might be another piece in there though. So I end up taking off the little adapter. You can see the little pieces down inside there. So those have all got to come out, so I got to pick those out. Those are all the pieces that I took out of that little elbow. So I think it would be prudent to take the other elbow off and see if there's any in that too. At least enough to get us back to the dock. If enough water can go through there, keep it cool for 5 minutes, and we'll be all set. And it's fixing to come a storm, so we're in a precarious situation here. That's how sailing go. You got to be able to go with the flow, I guess. I lost a little bitty spline off of this shaft that goes in the keyway in this impeller, so we were basically screwed. But I ended up taking this piece back off again, and when I was turning it, it fell out the bottom and just happened to land in my hand. I think we're good to go. It's turning the right way to push water here down into that. I'll hook the hoses back up. We lost a lot of coolant, so I'll have to fill that back up and then head for the hills. Well, it worked. The impeller worked. We sailed as close as we could to the entrance of the marina and just to Genoa. Turned the engine on. No water, no water, no water. Finally water coming out the back. So we muscled in the Genoa, and we had a couple of friends catch us because we were coming in a little bit hot because we wanted to make sure that we made it, so we got enough momentum going so that we could just coast in if we had to. And yeah, so everything seems to be back to normal. Yeah, I guess maybe the procedure from here on out would be to change it occasionally, whether you need to or not. The jury's still out on that one. Do some research and figure it out. What do you think?
I think we should change it at least once a year.
Yeah.
Why not?
Last night I took the heat exchanger off just to be sure that there weren't little bits in there, and I found a whole bunch of little bits. When we took the impeller off, there was no way we found all the bits that would make an impeller, and so taking that off, I don't know that there was any pieces in the actual heat exchanger, but at the entrance of the heat exchanger before the tiny tubes, there were quite a few pieces in there, so it was definitely worthwhile to take it out because we would have had a problem. But ever since then, everything's been fine. So we're gonna do some sailing today, and then we're going to try to anchor and make dinner and potentially change our outhaul. The outhaul on a Catalina 30 is historically bad, and so we got the stuff to fix it with, and so we were thinking about doing that on anchor. have our Cuban reel out. I don't know. I don't know if it's probably not ideally rigged, but I think it's probably rigged good enough. So we just basically attach the Cuban reel to the boat, and I have a little whatever that thing's called that holds the line. So when the line pops out, the Cuban reel flops up like that, so that we know that there's a fish on. It's just an experiment to see what would happen. We'll probably need a bell or something on it so that when it moves that we'll hear something, but it's a work in progress. One of our goals is to learn how to use that, and that's what we're doing, so pretty good. I saw that fish jump that time. He was right there.
He's coming.
He's coming, hopefully.
Well, he was very big, but he's coming.
No, I'll take any fish. So we ended up catching a fish, but I didn't really know it. It wasn't even big enough to move the old, you stop that. It wasn't big enough to pop the, whatever, I forget what that thing is called, but it wasn't big enough for that to even come off so that we knew that there was one on there. This is the same thing that happened last summer, I guess it was, when we got another little bitty guy on there, and we didn't even know it until a bird tried to come take it. What do you think? Is he a keeper? I mean, that's like one bite of sushi.
He's cute.
And he's probably, what, 4 inches long? 5 maybe? I don't know. So, anyway, he's pretty cool. We'll send it back and he'll get much bigger. We're 2-0 on fish, right? Mm-hmm. So, all right, well, we'll put this back in the water and see if something else goes on there. Go tell your friends to come. We got plenty of cool food. So, we'll just chuck him back. Bye-bye. He'll have a nice end to the rest of his day. He's gonna go tell his mom, and I hope she comes try to beat me up. Wind kind of crapped out on us, so we're gonna motor over and go to one of our cool anchoring spots and hope that nobody's in there, and anchor and maybe do a project, do some dinner, things like that. Our anchoring process leaves something to be desired, but we don't have a windlass, and we're not very good at it. We're just kind of taking what we learned in 103, 104 class and doing what we can do. But we've done it a few times and it works. How long have you been a fan of Sailing svSomeday? Oh yeah? What do you like most about their videos? Really? I like projects and stuff. So how long have you lived around here? Well, that's cool. You plan on hanging around a while? What are you gonna do while you're in town? Oh, okay. All right, well, take care. We'll talk to you later. This is where we dropped it at that hairpin, and then that's where we're at. So we'll swing back and forth like this. Okay. So it'll show up as a series of marks. We can also take our bearings and shit, you know.
I see from here like there's a buoy or something right there.
Baba buoy.
And then there's that dead tree or pole right there, right across there.
Yeah, so as long as those things don't move, we're stuck. We are snugly at anchor, and it's almost 5 o'clock, and I think we made an executive decision to ditch the project for the day. We were going to replace the outhaul. It's inside the boom, and so we have to take the boom end castings off at the very minimum to get inside there. We're trying to figure out if we could do it without taking the boom completely off the boat. If we tied a halyard up at the back, take the boom topping lift off, don't take the gooseneck off, but just unscrew it from the sides. I don't want to get into this thing where we start a project at 5 o'clock and it ends up taking 4 hours, where we think it'll take 2 or 3, and then it's dark. We plan to get to this anchoring spot, this anchorage here, at 3 o'clock to have 4, 5, 6, 7 before we had to make dinner, and of course, boats. It doesn't work out that way. So we got way the hell on the other side of town, and or whatever you call it, and there was no wind. We keep buying things to do projects and then not doing them. We have a whole boat full of junk that we need to apply to our boat. So, but we're getting towards the trailing end of the summer where it can be okay to do projects because during the day, because it's not 110 degrees and a 4,000% humidity. What you doing?
I'm gonna air up this paddleboard.
Yeah, where'd you get it?
Got it for my birthday.
When was that?
February.
February? What month is it now?
September.
Wow. Alright. I got Daryl the paddleboard for her birthday in February. It takes 300 pumps with the manual pump to pump it up. We got an electric pump, but we've never used it away from shore power. So I've got my Victron battery monitor and stuff. We're going to see how much power this thing sucks. I would imagine it would be a huge drain. Alright, so we're supposed to push power. Oh, you know what? Does that go through the inverter? Oh shoot, hang on. Quick correction. It's not inverter. We have a switch for fans, which basically is a 12-volt outlet for our fans and stuff. And so we're plugging it into that. So we don't have to turn the inverter on. That would be stupid. Take two. Here we go. All right. 15 PSI power. It has two phases. The first one just gets it to where it's full of air. And then the second phase kicks into high gear and really puts the pressure in there. So it looks like the thing draws about 2 amps on the low speed.
Right, it's gonna price up.
There, okay, so you probably hear that. So it kicked into high gear.
Eventually.
The pump, oh, it just went off. Minus 6.7 amps towards the end, so 2 for the refrigerator and everything else that we own basically. So the more pressure it has pushing back on it, the harder it has to pump, the more amperage it uses obviously, but so that's not horrible. Chicago dogs are awesome, and so we're gonna have Chicago dogs cooked on the anchor. It's gonna be great. Here's what that looks like. We had our Chicago dogs and we paddleboarded, and regardless of the fact that we've never done it before, and regardless of the fact that there's probably a storm coming, and regardless of the fact that the wind's supposed to blow gust 25 or 25 knots overnight, we think that it would be in our best interest to just hang out here overnight at anchor. We've never done that before, so this will be a first. So we downloaded a couple of apps to let us know if we swing outside of this specific sort of range. And so far, our little chart plotter where I dropped anchor and we have our little mark, we haven't moved, and we backed down on this anchor like 2,000 RPMs in reverse for a while.
It didn't.
It didn't do anything, and I think we'll be fine.
And it's really pretty.
Yeah,
See back
it's
there.
awesome.
It's
We've
pretty
never
cool.
done it before, so it seems like a cool time to do it, and it's not hot. I think we'll be able to sleep comfortably. Maybe stick our wind scoop up, scoop air straight into the V-berth where we sleep. Worst thing that happens is the anchor pops loose. I think that's the worst thing that can happen. Best case scenario, super awesome. We learned a new skill. It's just kind of creepy because we've never done it before, but there's got to be a first time for everything. How was your first night at anchor?
It was okay.
Anything exciting happen?
Yeah, the anchor alarm went off a few times, but we didn't ever move, so it was kind of a false alarm. And then at one point, the wind blew hard enough that it made our wind scoop come undone and fall on your head. Other than that, it was just fine.
Yeah, the wind blew pretty consistently hard, I'd say, all night. It was up around 20 for most of the night. So the anchor alarm went off a couple of times, but that was no big deal. Yeah, it was quite pleasant. We did not plan to stay here overnight, so we didn't really plan for breakfast properly. So we ended up having to use the stove in our galley to cook our breakfast burritos. But that's what we probably should do anyway. So yeah, so now we got to wrap everything up here and figure out how to get off the anchor. And the wind's blowing really good, so Probably have a good sail today too. Should be awesome. There's not a man, woman, or child alive that doesn't enjoy a nice cruise. However, I enjoy a bit of a spirited sail.
My sailing gloves smell like a hamster.
Yeah, hamsterbacon.com. Copyright. Nobody go get that. What if it's something bad?
Hamster bacon?
Yeah.
Ew.
Everybody quick, go to hamsterbacon.com. Don't really go there, because I don't know what's there. Otherwise I gotta buy it.
That'd be a weird porno
You
site.
just have a picture of your glove on there. Also, don't eat any hamster bacon. That's probably illegal.
Ew.
I don't know. What the hell was that? Did you hear that?
I think something fell off our sail. Should go investigate.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you liked it or not. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment below if you have any cool anchoring tips or anything like that. Did you enjoy anchoring?
I did.
I did. First anchoring overnight, and now I feel like, you know, there's no stopping us. The possibilities are endless. Imagine what's going to happen for us now.
Cold weather will stop.
Yeah, it's going to be cold. We'll have to figure out a cold weather sort of solution for anchoring. But so anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you had a good time. Whatever. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Bye.